Thank you very much, program directors, our Deputy President, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, our Presidente wa Maloba, Khalima Mutlante, ministers, deputy ministers, our ministers of religion, our public servants, members of the diplomatic corps, members of political parties, the mayor's representative, and members of the ANC and all political parties, fellow mourners. Indeed, it was difficult to process and internalize the early departure of Ronnie Mamoepa from our midst. And it is clear to all of us in the country that a tall tree has fallen. A big heart has stopped to beat. A vibrant and exuberant personality has become still, but a beautiful soul has departed to the universe. Ronnie, as all have said, was an activist, a political activist, a student activist, a Robben Island prisoner, a disciplined cadre of our organization, an excellent public servant, and an extraordinary communicator. To the family, Audrey, the siblings, the children, and all the entire Mamoepa family, our condolences. But you must be proud that you gave South Africa such a beautiful son and servant of the people. I came to know Ronnie from the time of before 94, but I came to know him well when I worked with him for over a decade. When he came to Foreign Affairs then, after having worked in the high office, we were trying to build a strong communication, which he did meticulously, assembled a team, put a strategy, and he communicated well. But I think, as was said before, his secret was that he didn't wait to be told what is to be communicated. He made sure he knew the department, he knew the players in the department, he knew the policies, and he was on top of the information so that he could communicate at all times what was going on. One of the Foreign Affairs officers was reminding me that it was such a pleasure to work with Ronnie because you knew that when he was preparing a statement or a speech or a press release on the area of work that you are in charge of, he would come to you and make sure that his facts are correct. So he worked with a team, not only in the department, but in government as a whole. And he communicated during difficult times, during happy times. For instance, he communicated during happy times when we won the World Cup bid. He was there. But also during difficult times when we had to go to the UN and explain and communicate at the UN about the recall of the then president, he was there. He never said, well, this one minister, you do yourself. I'm not getting involved. He was there to communicate at all times. When he got to Home Affairs, as was said, when we got to Home Affairs was called by the public Horror Affairs. So it was a very big challenge. And I said to Ronnie, let's go to Home Affairs. And he says, Minister, what am I going to say? IDs every day. How can I communicate about IDs every day, Minister? So we said, and I said, look, Ronnie, Home Affairs is more than IDs. We discussed, and I discussed what I'd been told, that we need to go to Home Affairs and try and improve that department. So I said, Ronnie, you need to be part of change. And once he accepted that, you could see his face lighting up, and I'm sure he was already thinking, how am I going to do this? And then came a very big shock to us, because the people in the Deputy President's office, then Deputy President Kgalema, came to us and said, unfortunately, Deputy President wants Ronnie to come to his office. I was shocked. But we discussed with Ronnie, and then we agreed that no, we should convince Deputy President that he needs to remain at Home Affairs. And that time, I had to be the communicator. I went to Deputy President, we discussed that the challenges at Home Affairs will be served, and the country will be served well by Ronnie remaining at Home Affairs. And I'm forever grateful to Deputy President Kgalema, because he didn't hesitate. He said, okay, keep Ronnie at Home Affairs. And I think at Home Affairs, because of the challenges that were there, Ronnie was able to bring up his creativity, his innovation, and indeed he did. He went beyond the normal communication means. He went to generations. When he first introduced that, we all said with Apleni and them, Ronnie, now we are out of order. And he said, no, Minister, it can't be done. It can't be. Minister, imagine 8 million viewers one night will get the message. Just imagine. And of course, Ronnie never failed. If he wants to do something, he gets it. He got it. He was going to Pampers. Can you imagine Ronnie debating with Pampers that we need your slot to say our message at Home Affairs? But he also always remembered that he was there for the people. And he never forgot his responsibilities also as ANC. I remember one day coming back from somewhere, and he says to me, Minister, the ANC took a decision that there must be Letsima, so we must be part of that Letsima. So I've arranged, we're going to the graves, to clean the graves. So we went and cleaned the graves and went to Mama Martha Mahlangu and all that. So he always remembered that, and that was the pleasure of working with Ronnie, because you were not just working with a communicator, you were working with a comrade, a revolutionary, and you could discuss things with him. And Ronnie, I would also want to say he was not just to us a communicator. He was a friend. He was like family. But I think his prison time created problems for all of us, because he missed coke when he was in prison. And when he came back, he was, as I think Matata said, he just drank coke. He was a guzzler of coke. And that's how he explained it to me when I tried to stop him, that no, I missed coke. You know, I went to prison when I was young. I missed coke. When I came back, I asked my mother to give me a crate of coke. But I think that's also contributed to his diabetes. But that was Ronnie. And he also communicated during very difficult times. Some of you would remember that a young man, Skumbuzo, committed suicide because of his frustration at the Pinetown office of Home Affairs. Ronnie had to communicate, all had to communicate, but he was there to communicate not only the failure of Home Affairs, but what we are doing to improve so that nobody will commit suicide again. So that was Ronnie. And I just want to maybe end, because I only have 5 minutes here, and I'm sure I've gone over that. I just want to say that he also transferred his skills to others. He was not selfish, that he must be the only one. He helped others. He was very helpful. He was a beautiful soul, but he was a revolutionary at the end of the day. When we were campaigning to go to Addis, he was helping with communication, helping DICO at the time. And he was in Addis even when we won. But of course, I couldn't take him to Addis because of Audrey. Because Audrey wasn't going to be, we didn't think he should go to Addis, and she had work here. But also, I didn't think Ronnie could look after himself health-wise away from Audrey. So we both agreed that no, you must stay here, and he stayed. So I just want to say, Ronnie, you really served this country well. You were a unifier. Ronnie engaged you. He didn't say, no, I don't agree with that one, and leave you on the side. No, he engaged you. Until you agree, or until you agree to disagree. But that didn't break any friendship. So I think we can learn that from Ronnie. And we can also learn from Ronnie that there is no sacrifice that is bigger, and that we must serve our people with humility, selflessness. He used his intellect to serve our people, and Ronnie knew and believed, like the Cubans did, that there is no power that can crush the power of truth and ideas. And so that's the lesson we learned from him. But to me, he was a friend, he was a family, and go well, Ronnie. We'll miss you, but I'm sure you'll be part of the universe watching over us. Amandla.